In this video, we will see what is the payoff of a bear spread on call options. So remember that we built a bear strategy by buying or going long, okay? By going long on a call option, so this case is a call because we are computing a bear spread on calls. So we are going long on an option with a high strike price, and we will call this strike price X2. And in the same way, we are going to sell or we are going short on a call with a low strike price X1. Okay. So again, we need to know the payoffs of each of the positions. So we need to know what is our long call position, and we need to know what is our short call position. And we can, for instance, do the graphs, for instance, a long call. Again, remember that the investor is expecting the stock price to go up, okay? And in the short call is simply the opposite of the long call. So if this is going up, in the short call, it will go down, okay? So I know that here we have strike price X2 because X2 is associated with the long call, and in here I have strike price X1, which is associated to the short call. So if I put these both drawings together, so if I put these two payoffs together, we will have something like this. So we have X2 that is bigger than X1. So we put X1 around here. We know that the payoff for X1, so let's put X1 in blue. So we know that the payoff of X1 is something like this. It will go down. And I know that the payoff of X2 is, it will go up after it reaches the strike price here, okay? So, given this general drawing, let's try to find out the payoffs of our bear spread on calls. So, at expiration date, three scenarios can happen to the stock price, okay? Stock price at expiration date. Okay. So the stock price can either be, for instance, can either be below or equal to X1. The stock price can be between X1 and X2, or the stock price can be higher or equal than X2. So, again, remember that we build this strategy by going long. So let's put it in red. By going long on a call, which pays the maximum between the stock price and X2 or 0. And we have a short position, a short call, which pays the minimum of X1 minus ST or 0. And given these two, I want to estimate the payoff of my bear spread on calls. Okay, so how can we do this? Well, it's similar just like in the other ways. So we go into our graph and we see, okay, if the stock price is below S1, so if the stock price falls here, then it will pay 0 for the long call. So it hits the red line in the axis, so it pays 0 here. And it also pays 0 for the short position. Okay, so 0 plus 0 gives 0. If the stock price is in between x1 and x2, then it means that it falls here. So if it falls here, again, we have 0 on the long position, but on the blue position, on the short position, we get a profit, okay? And this profit is going to be x1 minus st. This s looks like a 5. Let's erase it. So minus st. So this gives a total of x1 minus st. And if the stock price is above x2, so if the stock price falls here, then we see that we have a profit in the long position. Okay, so the profit of the long position will be the stock price minus x2. And we also see that we have also profit in the blue position, in the long position. So this is going to be x1 minus st. So if we make the calculations, let's make here the calculations, let's put here a star, and let's make the calculations here. So st minus x2 plus x1 minus st, so as you can see, the stock prices cancel, and this equals x1 minus x2. So the final payoff of a bear spread, so the payoff of a bear spread on calls, bear spread on calls, is going to be equal to 0 if the stock price is below or equal x1. It's going to pay x1 minus st if the stock price is between x2 and x1, or it will pay x1 minus x2 if the stock price is higher or equal than x2. And again, the cost of building such strategy is always the same. Actually, we can even write this in another color. So the cost, let's put it here. The cost of building such strategy is always the same. What I go long, so I go long with strike price 2, so I go long with index 2, minus what I go short, and I go short with index 1, okay? And in order to get the profits table, so the profit table is the same. So let's imagine that instead of payoff, I want the profit table. So it's exactly the same, but I just subtract the cost, okay? So this is the final table for the both payoff and profit tables of a bear spread on calls.